Hi guys, it's Joy, and for whatever reason this week, we have had a lot of movement in the Dawson department. What is going on with me that I'm putting R's in everybody's name? Darston Darley, Dawson, Tarsha Paytas. I don't know, I think I'm just going stir crazy from just doing nothing but YouTube videos on people and being at home. But then again, that's what happens when you're chronically sick and you gotta make some money, and we're under a pandemic. So, it's funny, I was talking to Mikenactor earlier, and you guys know he's Australian, but he actually speaks more like he's from the UK. But I was talking about the fact that, and I always say this, I love Australians, hi Aussies, hi. They, on the end of O's, they don't actually end a sentence with an O if it's an O vowel, it's an O-A-E-R, nor. So he'd go, oh, nor. And it makes me happy, so I'm wondering if this is like my little subtle nod to my Aussies. By the way, sound off in the comments. Aren't the Australians, weren't they just criminals from the UK? And I know I have a ton of Irish and Scottish family, so I'm just going to assume most of the Australians are a boast of criminal, Scottish, and Irishmen, which is probably why we're all very dirty and I get along with all of you and you greet everybody with the C word. You are my people. I need to move to Australia at some point. Also, I love Scottish people. Apparently that's my people and I can't understand a word they say. And I don't care. Like, I'm like, I don't know anything you were talking about, but I love you. I just need to go where all the white trash and criminals are. Anyway, I think I got canceled 3 times so far in this video. Humor doesn't exist. So let's talk. If you saw the title of this video, Shane made an appearance. And some people, of course, as the internet does and will continue to do, bully and pick apart Shane. So I've seen a few things, but I've also not seen this get too much traction yet. So I'm like, let me beat the social justice warriors to it before they can claim what an awful piece of crap this makes Shane. So if you guys don't remember, I also did a video earlier, go check it out, like a day or 2 ago, because time has melded into itself. When again, you're chronically sick, you are nonstop at home most of the time, and you're in a pandemic. And it's so funny. Mike was like, I take mental health breaks from this stuff. I'm like, oh, I wish I could, but I have to make money to live. No, but Mike is a fully functioning adult who has like a real job. I don't know if this is a real job. I mean, it technically makes me a small business owner, but I'm just an independent contractor, but that really is small business. Anyway, you guys are getting off topic. This chick talks way too much. The intros are too long. I'm gonna rage in the comments. How dare you make the content you want? So, he had his podcast, The Sip, and people have ripped him up one side and down the other because he said he's feeling lost. And apparently Lizzie said that we have it pretty good in America right now because we're not like a third world country. And obviously, these two or anybody that even has 6 degrees of separation from Shane Dawson are the most evil people that have ever existed, because internet culture, not really internet culture, more just YouTube conspiracy theories and bullies, in my opinion. And I actually really enjoyed the podcast. And he basically talked about the fact that everybody's feeling kind of lost and disheveled right now. And mentally, we're all just kind of floating around, and how a lot of us have been feeling. And I don't know, I really enjoy their podcast. They talk so much weird stuff that's right up my alley. They talk new ageism and quantum physics. Like I love quantum physics. I love string theory. Like I love a lot of the weird sciences, and especially when you try to merge spirituality with science, and I feel like quantum physics has a lot of those answers that I find really fascinating. So I love it. They talk aliens. I'll talk aliens all day, every day. I have to have an invisible ET family out there somewhere, or a group of positive aliens that are nice, because I can't stand these humans on this planet. I love them, but I can't stand them, and apparently they don't tolerate me that well. So I just want to go hang out with a bunch of really nice aliens that understand miscommunication, context, and humor, and aren't just bullies. So, now, that was the first thing we heard from Dawson, because obviously if Ryland speaks, it's obviously just Shane. I just love all of these Shane conspiracy theories from people. They do make me happy. And when I say happy, I mean disappointed. And I say happy, I get so, like, I have to find the humor in how stupid some of this stuff is, and how much people are just, it's just funny. Like, we have the modern day, you know, paparazzi and tabloids, and they're called YouTubers. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And that's why lately I've been speaking up about it, because I know what that feels like. And if you've been through it, you don't like it. and you tend to not want to see somebody else go through it. So Ryland uploaded a video. I know, he's a YouTuber. How dare he? He has no talent. He's living off of Shane. He has a bougie lifestyle, and Shane's funding it all, and they're about to go broke. And what evil people for having money and having feelings and expressing them. I totally understand the sentiment. But he did a video today, and Shane made an appearance. Now, Shane has made a couple of appearances in his videos, which I like, and I'm really happy to see Shane. But let's break this down. It's about 2.5 minutes long. I want to show you guys the clip, and I want to break down exactly what this means, exactly how many conspiracy theories with no evidence but are fact and truth are going to be said about this, because again, anything to make Shane or anybody around him evil, because we get that sweet, sweet ad revenue where really YouTube is just screwing us over and not really paying us what we really are worth anyway. But let's go ahead, let's break this down, and let's see what evil Shane can come up with today, or that YouTubers can go ahead and manipulate just to say so, because we need that sweet, sweet clout. Here we go.
Okay, I drug Shane to a furniture store to find a desk, but instead of finding a desk, we found a fucking horse that, like, Shane cannot stop talking.
I want him so much.
I don't know what we would do with this horse.
He makes me feel so skinny.
It definitely won't fit in our house.
But okay, here's the thing. I know that I'm weird, and I know that my career's over, and I know that I'm just that crazy guy who buys weird toys.
I mean, I do love it. I don't know where we would put it.
It's so sad because I want him so much, and I just feel like he's so lonely. He's just staring out the window waiting for somebody to come by and buy him, and nobody is going to buy him. Where people come from, it's not that expensive. It's actually pretty well priced for a big red horse. We're all gonna die. Like, look at us right now. Like, look at me right now. I'm gonna die soon. So, like, let's make the most of it.
We can't leave Charlie here. Look at, oh my gosh, people are stopping to look. It's our horse, back off. It does say 20 to 60% off.
I feel like they'll just give it to us to get rid of it.
Okay, we caved and bought Charlie.
And then we said, what kind of people buy these? And she said, just rappers.
Oh my gosh, I can't. Oh, I actually kind of love it. Look how crazy that is.
I took notes on this Super Cereal Lucky Charms video. By the way, if you ever hear me say Super Cereal and Lucky Charms, that is because Lucky Charms is the best cereal. Challenge me on it, I will win. They act like it's marshmallows. No, it's just little, just chunks of sugar that are flavored. And you know what? I say do away with the grains. Nothing but what you call the faux marshmallows. That's where it's at for me. I'm on a diet, and I can't even eat sugar for the possibility of at least another 6 months, 6 to 7 months. And then we actually have to do a whole nother diet to work on my hormones and tumor issues. So this could be another 3-ish years of this much sugar. My life is fun, eating nothing but meat and taking cold showers every day. Lots of comfort. Anyway, oh, here she goes again, talking about her health. Like it's her channel and she can say what she wants. Now she's referencing the comments. We know we're getting to her. Foot soldiers, keep going. I love y'all. I love y'all. Thank you guys so much for giving me the engagement. And then I love the people that support me. I just love everybody in this scenario because you guys are helping me grow my business and make money, and I appreciate it. Let's go. So, and this is what we see from this, right? So apparently this whole thing was about like they were redecorating or like redoing a shed or something. Honestly, I have paid attention. Like anytime it has to do with like, let's redo the home, I have no idea what's happening. No disrespect. A lot of people are into that. I'm not. I don't understand how to decorate. If you give me a room and say, okay, what do you want? I'm going to throw some like sparkles, sprinkles, and Care Bears around it. And I think the sprinkles will attack like ants and bugs. I don't know what I'm doing, right? Oh, somewhere I'll probably have like a fog machine. Like I literally have no idea how to decorate. So I love looking at homes. Like that's fun, especially as you get older, because it's like, that's what you're into, is like finding that stability. And if I'm lucky enough, and if I can make enough of my life this year, I would love to be able to look into buying a home. I don't have nearly enough money or even a possibility of the thought right now. So it's not like I'm saying this like I have actual intention to do it because I have the tools. It's something I would like to do. I'm going to throw this out to the universe and see if I can manifest it, because that's not esoteric and that's obviously how things work, say fact. Now, let's dive into this. So Ryland and Shane went to buy a desk, but Shane became obsessed with a big old red horse, which, you know, he's just weird and gross. So like, who cares? Obviously, you know, he would be obsessed with something weird because he just needs to be weird and random because he can't cope with the fact that he's been canceled and he no longer has a career and everybody hates him and we're going to just keep hating him because we're such good people. Now, Shane says, I want him so much, in a very cute voice. And Ryland says, I don't know what we do with this horse. Which, you know, good points to both. Shane wants it and Ryland's like, this isn't practical. Shane, he makes me feel so skinny. And you know what though? That is promoting eating disorders. So I hope that the gossip, you know, drama channels, I hope that they pick this up and realize that Shane just told everybody that you're fat and you need to go on a diet. You heard it first here. Or maybe you heard it 10th here because it's already going around. So Ryland says, it definitely won't fit in our house. Shane says, here's the thing. I know I'm weird. My career's over and I'm that crazy guy who buys weird toys, and they start laughing. You know what that is, guys? It's not like they're having fun banter and it's not like Shane is just kind of joking about his situation to cope with it. I think Shane is being uber manipulative in this. I think Shane is trying to manipulate us into feeling sorry for him because he's been bullied and apparently he deserves it. So says a bunch of bullies. And that's Shane's manipulation. I'm that weird guy. Did you hear it? He admitted he's weird. You're not allowed to be weird unless it's the right kind of weird or the right kind of alternative that we would go ahead and be acceptable to. So he's admitted that we should hate him right now. And he says, my career's over. He's putting it on us, guys. Putting it on us that he apparently made content back in the day that was deemed edgy but acceptable enough that nothing happened to him, and so many other people had the exact same type of content. He's blaming us for the fact that people are bullying him unfairly now. And then he says, I'm that crazy guy that buys weird toys. Did you hear that? He's admitted that he's got mental illness issues, and we know how mental health works on YouTube. We're only compassionate if it fits our narrative and we like the person. Otherwise, if Trisha Paytas comes out and says, my former friend Shane Dawson is fighting feelings of not wanting to be on the planet, if that happens, we can bully him harder. So him saying this is an admission of him having mental illness, and he's trying to manipulate us into getting empathy for him. And then he says the guy who buys weird toys. Obviously, I think that means he is some sort of human trafficker. I mean, what else could that mean? He's buying toys. He doesn't have any children. So what children is he trying to attract? Because world's biggest predator. Now, Ryland says, I mean, I do love it, but where would we put it? Like, what would we do with it? And then Shane says, it's so sad. I want him so much. And I just feel like he's so lonely and he's staring out the window waiting for somebody to come buy him, and no one will buy him. That was one big manipulative ploy for Shane to say, nobody loves me, and I'm lonely. You know what? Sadly enough, okay, not being sarcastic, I wonder how many people are not going to understand this as sarcasm, but I actually think it might be a little bit indicative of where his headspace is. I bet he does feel lonely. He just lost Trisha, who apparently they were super close friends, and Trisha, in the close friend that she is, didn't even give him the benefit of the doubt to give him a conversation and clear up any miscommunication that can happen via text, and then decides to put everything under the sun, including the mental health stuff he's struggling from online, you know, like a decent person. He probably is struggling. I bet he is. Trisha confirmed it. Which, you know, when somebody wants to end their life and leave the planet, that's the time you bully them the most. Right, Dustin Daly? Right, Petty Page? Right, all you social justice warrioring YouTubers? That's why, like, I've just come out so much, and I've just been kind of coming out in some ways and, you know, really speaking with a lot of passion about this. Like, I'm so fed up with these people. It's so predatory. If they take something and twist what you've done, or they perceived you've made a mistake, they're going to bully you for the rest of their lives and then claim you don't get to have a life. Sorry, babes, you don't get to determine what happens for someone else and their life because they've made mistakes. It's called being a human, learning and growing. Or you guys just want to be AI, bot, robot drones, and do you not have feelings yourself because you're the narcissist and the sociopath? Oh, but Shane Dawson's always talking about sociopathy and narcissism, and there's an issue there because maybe it's because all those types of people tend to target and bully him all the time, so he's surrounded by it. I don't know, just a suggestion. I'm not even a super Shane fan. I'm just using common sense. So, he says again, it's so sad. I want him so much, and I just feel like he's so lonely, and he's staring out the window waiting for somebody to come buy him, and no one will buy him. And he says, people come in for things, people come here for things, and, you know, really the horse isn't that expensive. He's pretty well priced for a red horse, which I think is funny. But again, people are going to somehow say, oh, he's money. Here comes Shane with the money shaming. That's what we're going to hear. And then Shane says, right, and this is super manipulative. We're all gonna die. Look at us right now. Look at me. I'm gonna die soon. So let's make the most of it. That was really a big dig at Trisha Paytas, wasn't it? That was Shane doing a big dig to Trisha Paytas to say, if something happens to me, it's your fault. And it's also him guilting us. If he ends his existence because people have been so bad at bullies, he's blaming us for it. How dare he? How dare he even exist? How dare he still exist? And you know what, though? I do think, again, some of this, it's possible, could be telling that this is kind of his mental state. First of all, I think he's making a joke about the pandemic. Everybody's all masked up and looks nuts. It does look nutty. We all look nutty. I'm not criticizing us, but it just looks weird. It looks unhealthy that we're all walking around with masks. I get it. If it's something we got to do, it's something we got to do. I'm not sitting here saying this is a pro-mask or an anti-mask video. I'm all do what you have to for your health, because get what, babes? I can't wear masks. Yeah, I'm not asserting my rights here. It's that I will pass out because I have an issue called dysautonomia. I can't regulate my temperature very easily, especially if I'm having issues with my nervous system. That overheats me. That was a fun trip to Walmart to find that out by myself. So I'm not sitting here trying to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. Do everything you can to be healthy and to help other people be healthy, but take care of your health, because if you're chronically sick or disabled, nobody gives an F about you and they will let you die. It's how the United States works. Welcome to America 2020 and how it's been most of the time. I cannot believe we think we're number one and we're such a good first world country and our medical system is such a joke. You know, for profit. That's not evil. So, or as Peter Monn says, if you're on disability and you can't work, or you're so sick that you can't work, shut up and get a job. He has to, you know, like ableists do, shame people for being sick. So, I think it's possible that this is, you know, and here's the thing with Shane, and I've said this, I think Shane copes with his issues with humor and dark humor. Guess what? It's what I do too. I do it all the time. I said this in a recent video. I've said this before. At my fattest weight, of almost 270 pounds, almost 300 pounds. I was gaining weight uncontrollably. Funny enough, there were a few things for about a year I stopped gaining weight. I'll talk about this at one point. My diet was horrible, but it kept my weight steady, which I'll talk about this because I love people that say, something's wrong with you. Or some people are nice and they're like, look, Joy, they're trying to give me info. Weight is all about calories in, calories out. If you have a healthy, functioning body, absolutely. Well, I mean, there's more to it than that. There's carbs, there's sodium, there's what type of fats, what type of carbs. There's a lot of different things to it. But yeah, that's the basic premise if you're in good health. And most people in the US aren't in good health, and also weight loss is all geared towards men and men's health and not as much towards women's, which is always interesting because why do women have such a hard time losing weight? Well, yes, we have the hormones and that's always going to be a factor. That will always be there, but there's more to it. It's all tailored towards men, and men and women's bodies, shocker, they are different. They have different health needs. Dun, dun, dun. I know I said something super controversial. Social justice warriors, commence, flock down on me. So anyways, so he talks about, we're all going to die soon. I'm going to die. So they're giggling about it. Well, maybe he's just upset that Trisha put out the fact that he's fighting feelings to be on the planet. And he's just making jokes about it because that's how he copes. When I was at my fattest, my coping mechanism was to have my friends call me fat and make nonstop fat jokes to me. And I did it to myself. And I still do it. That's how I coped. Because it was a horrible situation and I was fighting for my life. That doesn't work for everybody, right? For some people who are overweight, that would be extremely offensive. I get it. But everybody's different. And dark humor is okay if the people who do dark humor together are consenting and okay with it. It's okay to have edgy and dark humor, and I'm going to continue to say that on this channel. You don't get to take the humanity out of people because you're insecure and you want to make money by bullying people online. I'm not with it anymore. Sorry, not sorry. I hate that phrase. If you're not sorry, just stand in your feelings and your power and speak it as it needs to be. It's just the most passive-aggressive thing. Well, I'm sorry that I'm not sorry. No, you're not. You're just being a C word. So then I guess they named the horse, right? Call it Charlie. And he says, we can't leave Charlie here. People are stopping by now and looking in. Well, it's 20 to 60% off. That's what Ryland says. Shane says, I bet they will give it to us just to get rid of it. Is that some money shaming or is that some horse shaming? Is that bestiality shaming? Is that what we're doing now, Shane? Huh? So then, says we caved and we bought Charlie. Now, you ready? This is where both Shane and Ryland have now outed their racism. Here we go. Shane says, we asked if people buy these things. You know what the response was? The response was, just rappers. Just rappers. You mean candy rappers? No. You mean people who do the lyrical, poetic art of literally poetry to beats and melodies? Yeah. Now, I know that there are all different types of rappers, but rappers are primarily minority. Boom. Racism. Because what we have to do when we're a YouTuber is tie everything back to how a person could be the worst possible version of something ever, no matter how much they take out of context. It doesn't matter that people like rappers, they end up liking things that could look very extravagant or very over the top sometimes. For instance, rappers are the only people that would literally just have their teeth plated gold. And you know what? More power to them. I'm not criticizing. I'm just saying it's a little over the top. But you know what? I'm a lot over the top of a person. I'm not criticizing them, but I'm saying if that's the case, and that's how people tend to look at rappers, right? And they do things like that, but that typically is minority rappers. So by extension, Shane is big old racist. You're gonna see how this works, right? He just made fun of rappers. Even though Shane says he really likes the horse, because who could ever like a horse like that? Even though Shane says, look, I admit I'm weird, I have weird tastes, I like weird things. But nobody who's not weird or not the right kind of alternative weird is gonna really like a big horse. So this whole thing was Shane manipulating us into feeling sorry for him, manipulating us into thinking something's wrong with him and he doesn't want to be here just so he can espouse his racism. Boom! Nailed it. I just out SJW'd all the SJW drama channels. I feel pretty good about myself. I feel pretty intelligent. And to Shane, I really hope I've added to you of the feelings of not wanting to be on the planet, because shame on you, you've made mistakes, or you've made things in your life where people have perceived you've made mistakes. You don't deserve to exist. We come out of the womb perfect. We don't make mistakes. We don't learn and we don't grow. Everybody comes out immaculate, and there is no reason not to stay that way. Okay, guys, if you like my super serial video, give me a thumbs up. Ow, I'm itchy. Translation in the comments. Oh, she's itching all the time, which I do in some videos. Must mean she's on drugs. I remember when I kept having issues with my nose, especially the end of my nose itching, there were so many comments about me being on drugs, and I would laugh because I'm like, no, now, I didn't know why that was happening, but no, I'm not on drugs. In fact, I wish that I'm not somebody that could be, because even a little bit of medication, of most medications, put my body into a really bad state. Sometimes I told you, ow, I have itch on my back, these random itches. I think I've told you guys sometimes every so often, if I have my vagus nerve issues flare up, I have those stomach spasms and I have to take the antispasmodic medication. And I start with 2.5 milligrams because that will be making me feel funny and uncomfortable. 5 milligrams, I'm gonna have issues with my heart and my blood pressure and all kinds of stuff. 5 milligrams, which would be nothing to anybody else. But what we found is I have a histamine disorder. And in that, one of the symptoms can be hives or extreme itchiness. The good news is I moved out of so many symptoms, and this is kind of one of the later ones we're nipping in the bud. I'll take it. Itching all day, every day. Also, it must mean I'm gross and I have poor hygiene. Yay, Shane, we're in the same poor hygiene category. Thank you, Dustin Daly. I have updates on that too. So I thought I would just do this video, make some giggles, and call some people out for bullying, because I can't stand it. I am not gonna sit by and live in a society where you can't use dark humor without people trying to ruin your life. To those YouTubers that this is what you do, grow up, especially if you're in good health. Here's my thing. Grow up and actually do something productive for the world. I wonder how much of these fake social justice warrior YouTubers, I wonder how much they actually do for communities and people of color. I really wonder how much they actually do for the causes that they espouse, they care about so much. I'm gonna tell you, and they might do a lot. I would assume it's this much, but who knows? That's just coming from somebody who made a stimulus channel that in 3 months got 100,000 subscribers, and I helped people find hundreds of thousands of dollars during a pandemic, specifically minorities who've been hit the hardest. What would I know about helping people, especially during a financial crisis? When it's so much better to go ahead and out Shane for his blatant racism. All right, guys, you like the video, give me a thumbs up, help me out. If you don't, thumbs down, because it helps me out too. Sound off in the comments, any which way, especially if you rage. The more comments you leave, the more you help my channel. Your hate feeds me, and I appreciate it, because I grow my business and I get to take care of my health, and then eventually I can make different content where I can help more people with their health and help people out their financial situations. You know, fix poverty. Fix the issues, the inequalities and the inequities that minorities and all people go through at this point. Especially minorities, they get hit the hardest. Oh, but social justice warriors don't want to talk about that. Too much depth, too much big braining. And guys, share this content with people that you think would enjoy it. That's it. Otherwise, I'm out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening, Shane. It was nice to see you for a moment. And a message to Shane, because you guys know that I have a Shane phone that is gold, that stinks, and that goes directly to Shane. It's kind of like when the president's office, you see the big red button for the nuclear, or the nuclear, remember George Bush, nuclear, for the nuclear bombs? That's what Shane and I have. It goes that deep. And so, Shane, I'll call you later on the Shane phone. But I just wanted to tell you, because he watches all my content, because he's such a huge, super duper fan, and he has nothing else to do with his time other than manipulate the audience. Boo Boo, when you're ready, I cannot wait for you to return. And when you return, you make sure, have your big D swinging and your big B's swinging. And you know what? Screw all of these people and what they say and all of their crap. You come back, you make content that absolutely destroys, that is so good, it doesn't matter what they say. And I'll be waiting for it. And at some point, Shane, this is the fun thing. I know all the crap that you're getting, and I know all the hate. I know how it feels. For me, it took a good 2 to 3 years to fully process it. Now, you're probably smarter than me and not nearly as sick. So I had a different set of circumstances where you reach a level of strength. It'll break through, and sometimes it breaks through in chunks. And you just realize, and you're able to, it's not even a realization. It's more like it clicks. The things you know and the logic you know about what's going on to you clicks. And you care less and less and less about what toxic people have to say. And Shane, I pray that moment comes for you sooner than later, because it's very, very freeing. You're very smart. You're a great businessman. You don't even have to come back to YouTube. Screw these people. You don't need them. But I would love to see you and come back and own it, just because it's fun to put bullies in their place. All right, guys, take care. Lots of love, lots of blessings. To the next video, I'm giving everybody hugs, mwah, kisses. Stay safe. Stay in good health, and I will see you guys soon. Bye.